What's up, guys?
Offers.
Happy Friday. Chuck Silver and Nick Marro here with Occupy Fantasy. We got a big slate today. A few games less on DraftKings. It's nice that they gave us that, but FanDuel has a full swath of NBA games. We have NCAA, so it's been a week for grinders, man. I love it. Nick, how we doing?
Yeah, man, grinding. I also got MLB coming up, so I'm cramming for that. We got UFC this weekend. It's all the sports all the time. Yeah, it's a good time of year, man. It's getting warm out here in Boston, which you gotta love too.
Bronny had a career night at minimum price. My disappointment
Yes,
is
he did.
immeasurable, and my day is ruined. Top quote, dude. Good stuff, Landon.
Dude, quick on that, Stephen A. completely switching up. Like, I knew Bronny would be good once I saw him play. Like, dude, it's funny how quick people backtrack their takes. But yeah, that was insane. He really ate last night.
Only other thing I want to mention, Bronny was a minus 37. He did well, so there's something there, but minus 37 is not great. Markieff Morris was a plus 6 or plus 7 in 28 minutes played. We lost by 30. So Markieff Morris, just shout out to him.
Crafty
Um,
vet.
yeah, Ben, good evening. Rear, let's get this money. Heath, Amari, you're back. We missed you. Alabama Jones, yep, and Unicorn. So where are we at, Nick? Do I have the screen up? I do. Let's go ahead and just jump into it.
Yep.
Anything? Well, do you want to give like anything about this large slate before we start?
I mean, it's kind of weird. A lot of these games, slates this week, there's like a ton of super obvious value. It seems like teams are kind of playing more of their starters tonight than they have been. I think it's because it's a Friday night. Like, I don't know, you want your home crowd to actually see the players play. So it's kind of weird. A little bit less value than we've had on most of these slates recently. But other than that, nothing too notable.
Crossed up Giannis and outscored Connect. Yeah, Connect was
Ugh.
power. Power. This is a good one. Westbrook, Gordon, MPJ, or Banchero, Justin Edwards, Gordon. Never mind. That's a weird one. I don't know if we'll be able to answer that until we get to those
Uh,
teams. I can tell you that I'm low on Banchero today because his ownership is uh, really high.
I love him. But yeah, I mean, I'm fine going with the second group just to not play Justin Edwards.
Yeah, let's go into this first game, Orlando. 50% own Paolo on FanDuel. Franz is pulling heavy ownership too. I talked about this last time. These guys are ownerships. It's just a little bit too high. And I think Paolo actually did okay, but on that large slate, you really needed a ceiling game from him. He didn't put it up. I will mention the model's higher on them today than it was the other day, even though at least Paolo's price came up slightly. Let's start with these top two. Talk to me about Paolo and Franz.
Yeah, I mean, he's coming off two okay games, but against pretty good defenses in Houston and Cleveland. This is a matchup he should absolutely crush in. No Cole Anthony tonight either, so we're going to see some point forward out of him. Going to be taking the ball at the floor. Yeah, I think Franz is fine, but Paolo's been the guy, man, and I think he's obviously the more talented player. A matchup like this, it's going to be really tough for the Wizards to slow him down. Tight enough spread too, because Washington's been playing half decent in terms of just general basketball, but yeah, I love Paulo. I do think he's overowned, if we're being honest, especially him being in the first game. But I pre-built some lineups, just making sure I got exposure to him here. I do think, especially on FanDuel, where he's 700 cheaper, which is where most of my volume is tonight, I did want to make him a priority. There's not a ton of great payups on this slate. Like, there's a few. Some guys coming back from injury, a lot of games with blowout potential. I do think Paulo kind of stands out as one of the quote unquote safer knock on wood plays in that 9K range.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the better plays on the slate. That's why he's pulling all the ownership. But with that ownership, I think we got to consider getting away a little bit. And then,
Yeah.
I mean, on DK, I'm still getting a ton. What do you think about kind of using Franz as the pivot off of Paolo and just playing a bunch more Franz instead?
I mean, I almost don't want to because yes, there would be like direct leverage there, but at the same time, I think Franz is still getting some love, right? Like it's not like he's unowned. Yeah, he's still like over 30%. So like you're not getting a ton of leverage. We really haven't seen the ceiling out of him recently, and he's expensive. Like if I'm getting off Paulo, it's to get more. I don't know. Harden on FanDuel or like Edwards or SGA, like some of these other guys that are rating really, really well in OF Index. Like I don't know that Franz is the direct pivot unless something really goes weird in that game.
I'll mention it's an 8 point spread, 217 total. It's much lower than we expect for Washington, but it's higher than we expect for Orlando. So I'm playing a bunch of Paolo. Over on FanDuel, I'd like to think we can get away from the 50% on DK. I'm right around the field, so I don't know if I'll get away that much, but it is a little bit high at 9,900. If you can find the pivot, that's great. I'll mention
Mhm.
Wendell Carter and Corey Joseph, I guess, as the other guys here. Cole Anthony just got ruled out. So, any interest in
Yeah.
the role players?
None of Corey Joseph for me. It's like we say, like we don't want to lock up value early necessarily because better things can open up. I don't know that we're going to get better plays than Paulo opening up in his price range. Depending on how many lineups you're playing, I'm fine taking some shots on Wendell Carter, but he has been as inconsistent as pretty much any center in the league. We saw that huge game against Cleveland, it kind of unexplainable, honestly, and then he's had a bunch of terrible games kind of surrounding that. So really wide range of outcomes. I think you can take shots on him, but definitely not something I'm rushing to get to.
I agree. Yeah, I think if I'm getting two pieces from this first game, it's going to be the pay ups, and then just hope we get that awesome value later.
Yeah. Are we going to touch on Washington quick too?
Yeah, let's talk about him real quick.
I love Sar again. I think he continues to go under owned. I mean, he's been playing limited minutes and still getting there. If he could just stay on the floor a little bit longer, I think his ceiling is massive. You could play him at power forward or center over on FanDuel. He's just been outstanding. I mean, really stuffing the stat sheet. You mentioned to me pre-stream Carrington's father passed today. Just terrible news. I'm going to keep an eye on if he's active or not. I don't know that this affects this much, but I don't want to play AJ Johnson, but it
No,
does seem like this is a player they want to give run to. And the other day he was super, super chalky. Today he's 1% owned at the same price. So I don't mind mixing him in for value.
yeah, and we saw them start Tristan Vukcevic last game at power forward. Swapped off all my Nick Richards. That was painful if you were in the Discord. But Tristan projected for 8%. His price came up. He was 3,800 last time. This is still okay. My issue with it is he still only played 20 minutes even in the start because I gave him like a whole extra rotation. And the problem is his rotations are short too. So that extra rotation was only 3 or 4 minutes. Like this was a good score. But on these slates now, dude, we really need these 36 over 30 plus if we're playing these 4K guys. And so he's still fine at 8%. Models identifying him as a strong value on DK at least.
Yeah, it is going to be a Smart out. Not that Smart's been super playable, but he has been taking up a few minutes from some of these other guys. I do like Vuk, but dude, he did all of that in the first half. He came out amazing and just kind of fizzled out. But yeah, I don't know why they're not giving more minutes to the bigs. I feel like they could go smaller against Orlando. Personally, hoping they don't. Again, I really do like Sar. On DK Vuk at his price is definitely a solid value play as well.
My thing is, these are young guys and they're playing well. They're not going to win you the game, dude. Just let them run. You're still going to lose,
Right.
I promise you. Last guy I want to mention here, and if you were watching the stream last time, dude, during the middle, I mentioned Kobe Jones was one of the guys I was getting to the most. By the time his game started, I had maybe 2%. He played 26 minutes. He had the game of his life, 41 fantasy
Yeah.
points, but he's projected for 0% ownership today. He's 3,900 now. This is a beyond the model play. I think we can mix these in as we get towards the end of the season. He's only projected for 20 minutes. With Carrington out, I'd like to think he gets a couple of those minutes, maybe. Uh, I don't know. I think that he's worth considering as a flyer.
Yeah, the thing is, Carrington wasn't on the injury report, so unless we get that news, I'd proceed
Yeah.
with caution. But yeah, if he's out, man, and shouts out to you. That's like one of the best calls of the year. I don't think anyone was on him.
One other person was on him, but same as me. They got off him too. Next game, Charlotte OKC. What do we got here? 20 points? Is that right? A 20
Yeah,
point spread is like why didn't
it's a
SGA just
one
sit out
seed and a
this game?
16 seed. Yeah, yeah.
It's a good point.
Yeah, man. I mean, SGA should be back tonight. We got to keep in mind there's still no Jalen Williams. So on the OKC side of things, you're afraid of the blowout, but there is upside there, obviously, for SGA at reasonable ownership. Not much else I'm interested in. I mean, you could get to the guys like Case and Wallace, Isaiah Joe as fillers, but I don't know that they necessarily stand out. The Hornets are really the talking point. No LaMelo Ball. Bridges is back, so I think you could maybe get to some Bridges if you think this game stays close. I personally don't. We've been terrible at predicting blowouts, though. It's like every game is close if it has a spread wider than 15. But all that being said, just keep an eye at point guard. They sent Damian Bow off a good game back down to the G League. They called up Kenneth Simpson. He should get the start at the point. He's going to be
Yeah.
one of your premier value plays on this slate. KJ, he might be known on some of the secondary sites, but yeah, 50% owned on both sites. I think he plays regardless of whether this game is close or a blowout. He seems to always hit value too at this price point. So definitely one of my favorite value plays is Kenneth Simpson. Again, assuming he's starting.
Uh, I thought he was on the DK slate. I'm not seeing his name here. Am I blind?
It used to be KJ. They switched him to Kenneth, so
I'm
that
still
could be
not.
why. He's point guard only.
I didn't have him in my stuff there. How many minutes do you think he plays? We have him for 30 and 50% ownership.
That sounds about right. I mean, he's played 30 plus each of his last 4 games.
Oh, I didn't see him because once again his name was at the top of the list. I wasn't expecting that.
There you go.
Yeah, I guess I'm getting a bunch of KJ. It's just we're assuming he starts, right?
Yeah, yeah. If he doesn't, I'd be surprised. Like they don't really have any other point guards with them right now.
They're missing
But
an entire starting lineup. Good one.
yeah, I mean Miller's still out, Williams is out, both of them. It's going to be interesting. Nurk is probably going to start here. It's not a
Yep.
great matchup for him. There is some blowout risk. I do think he's a little bit overowned. You mentioned Vucevic earlier. I think he's an interesting pivot because I don't know. Nurkic's ceiling is massive at this price. But I don't know that we could trust the minutes, especially with Diabate available. So I like Nurk. I think he's a good play. You're probably getting to him in cash game type formats, but I would proceed with some caution. Like there's a lot of centers on this slate. He's pretty easy to get away from if you want to.
Just the way I have my lineup set up, if the slate started right now, it looks like I'm getting away from KJ Simpson a little bit on DK, but Nurkic, I am not.
Hmm.
Model approved. I guess like the fear is what you said. He could split minutes with Diabate. We did see Diabate share the court with Mark Williams last time. I don't see that happening with Nurkic. Maybe it does though, since they did. Like these minutes are with Mark Williams mostly playing in these games, and so if we just get the 28 from Nurkic, I mean, we haven't projected for 24. That's already enough, I think, at 3,700. So I think he's a good play, but similar to all the other good
Yeah.
chalk values, if you can find a pivot, then go for it.
Yeah, there's one I like coming up. We'll talk about, but I do like Nurk. Don't let me talk you off him. It's just I think there's other centers tonight we could pivot to.
And then I do have some interest in Miles Bridges, but it's like if they're going to keep this game close, he's going to have to do all of it, him and Nurk. And so is he worth the 7 and 3%? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, again, if this game's close, he's going to have 60. So if you're looking for that Paulo pivot, maybe it's him. But again, the likelihood of that outcome is probably slimmer than the leverage you're looking for.
We touched on OKC a little bit. Was there anyone else that you wanted to mention here that we're like really interested? We have to consider playing.
I mean, not in particularly. I do think Wallace is underpriced on DK. I'm fine getting to him, but again, with this spread here, it's just tough to trust anything. Um, yeah, I don't know. I know Jalen Williams is coming off the game of his life, but Chet and Hartenstein are available, so that's a no. Really, just nothing.
What do you think about Xing out SGA today?
It scares me just because he's not very popular. His ceiling is as high as any play on the slate. He actually leads an OF index, and he can get there in 3 quarters. Um, so yeah, I don't know about fully Xing him out. I think that's a little bit aggressive.
That's the only player I got exposure to in my initial runs, and I got exactly with the field right about 15%. And so
That's
I know I
fine.
don't want more than that.
Yeah, I'm playing like 10. I'm on FanDuel. I might have him in one, maybe two max, but I just do like that upside at low ownership.
Next team's the Pelicans. Can you talk to us about them? Well, I
Yeah, for sure. So Pell's now without Trey Murphy, joining the other cast of characters that are going to be out for the whole season. No Boston, Jones, Murray, or Zion tonight. So there's a lot of value here potentially. Not the best matchup against Minnesota. I would have to check the spread, but decent total, 223.5 points. Alvarado should start. I know they've gone elsewhere at times, brought him in off the bench, but I think him starting here does make him very interesting. Right on par with Kenneth Simpson, in my opinion, is the better guard values we have. I think he could play too, even if this game were to get a little bit out of hand. McCollum, like if we're using logic, should absolutely crush here with all these guys out. But at the same time, Timberwolves are going to key in on him defensively. I don't know. Bruce Brown as a starter spikes some upside. I don't mind mixing him in. Not as popular as I thought he would be, so I am pretty comfortable getting to him as long as he starts 2 games over 30 fantasy points in his last 3. The third game in that group, he had 2, so he is volatile, but the ceiling's definitely there. Olynyk, Missy are fine. Don't love the matchup for them, but really, I do think Alvarado is kind of a core play for me here. Hawkins, if he were to start, I do think it's probably going to be Bruce Brown over him, though. But yeah, Hawkins is so cheap on DK. I think even coming off the bench, he's viable.
Yeah, I think the starting lineup we should expect this. So last time, minus Zion, Jose Alvarado, CJ, Eve Missy, Kelly Olynyk, and then yeah, Bruce Brown was going to make sense as that last spot. I don't think they go Makovich since they do have Olynyk and Missy today. But
Yeah.
Jordan Hawkins is projected for 37% ownership on DraftKings at 3,200. He does project as an elite value. Uh, I don't know. It's kind of chasey. We told you to play him last time, and like we all came off of him a bit because of all that other value that opened up, but he actually ended up doing it. I mean, I think
Yeah.
the ownership is definitely too high, but he is a good play today.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's just too cheap. Again, he's scoring dependent, but it's rare you find plays in that range that have his upside.
Yeah, and there's just at 3,200 for a guy that could potentially play, 28 minutes in this game. I just don't know if we have a pivot to this.
Yeah, I agree.
But again, we don't have like the big payups on the slate. We have SGA who's in a 20-point spread, and Giannis and Jokic aren't here, so it's not like we need the salary today. And so if you can find a reason or a way to get away from Jordan Hawkins, I don't mind it. But he is a good play
For sure.
over on. Yeah, and then I'll just reiterate, CJ, you called him out the other night when he put up that 50 ball, and he's only 10% owned tonight, 3% on FanDuel. I think that's still pretty good, solid to get over the field on.
Yeah, the ceiling's always there for him. Like he's definitely a better Robin than he is a Batman, though. So with all these guys out, I'm a little bit hesitant to get there where he's priced. But yeah, I mean, he could carry this team. He has at times before. I just don't love the matchup.
Nope, nope, it's not a great one. Let's see here. Franz Assar, Vassell Gobert. Let's do a quick one here.
On DK, it's Franz Assar.
Okay. Yeah,
Assar's only
Franz over here.
4,300 on DK. Yeah, that's too cheap.
We have some interest in the Spurs today. Devin Vassell showing up very strongly. Gobert, I used to have a lot of GPP interest, but now it's been going down. There's just so many other centers I'd rather get to today.
Yeah,
He's still in my exposures, though. He's not zero.
he's fine.
I Am King also said Franz Assar. Nice. Does Missy have a good matchup? No.
No,
Probably one of the worst matchups he could have. And it's the
he
same
did play
thing.
well. I
Yeah.
didn't mean to cut you off. He did play well against them last time. I don't know if Gobert was in that game or not. Let me double check.
I think
Yeah, he was. He outplayed Gobert. But I don't know. At that price on DK, I will say he's kind of tempting. But it is not a good matchup on paper.
Yeah, it's an appealing price. Kind of reminds me of like Nick Richards, like really uncomfortable. But Nick Richards is
Yeah.
a stronger fantasy producer. It's just a matter of if he plays the second half. But with Missy, I mean, I don't know, 16.2. Model really likes him. 28 minutes. If he gets to 28 minutes, he's fine. I think of him like I think of like Wendell Carter. If I'm playing small field stuff and satellite stuff, he's probably really solid because he's unlikely to burn you.
Yeah. I mean, he could burn you, but I do like him.
Do we just have to eat the Nurkic chalk? I am.
On DK, yeah.
For Portland, Duop Reith for value. I got to think he's a deep play today, unless I missed something on the injury report, but he would be a pivot to these other guys we're talking about.
I mean, he's been a beast.
Yeah.
I don't think it's crazy. It's just the issue is it's FanDuel. You're only playing one center. You're giving up that position, so there is kind of opportunity cost. But if you're playing a late slate or something, I mean, he's
Yes.
been showing the upside for sure.
Yeah, late slate. This is the Nurkic of the late slate, right, for DK?
Mhm. Yeah, for sure.
Are you crazy for playing Pritchard over Vassal, Jose? I don't think so. I would say you probably want the rest of your lineup to be kind of chalky if you're making that kind of pivot, but I think it's fine.
Yeah, people are afraid to go back to Pritchard right now. I don't mind the spot for him here though.
Klingon was out for Portland. Nice. Is
Oh,
he?
that
Is
last
that?
game?
Yeah, is that confirmed though? Wasn't in the model.
Wait, is he saying he was out the game that he went off last time? Yeah, he's
All right.
questionable with an illness as far
Okay.
as the injury report. Maybe that news came out since.
All
Let me
right.
double check
Let's.
here.
Well, I didn't realize we were mid game. I thought we finished that game, but we do have to talk about Minnesota. I mean, Anthony Edwards is here. He's always going to be up near the top, but points per dollar value is not elite. He usually isn't. Projected for 14 and 7% ownership. This is a possible pivot to Paolo. Paolo's the stronger play, I think. And then I just want to point out Mike Conley at 3,600. I don't know that we love playing him today, but he's 3,600, so we have to consider him.
Yeah, he's cheap. I mean, wide range of outcomes, but the ceiling's there at that price.
Yeah, I mean, you have any interest, like big interest in anyone here? Does anyone stand out?
I mean, not particularly. I do think like Edwards is a good pivot off Apollo if you're looking for one, but I'm getting to a ton of Apollo, so I don't know that I'm getting there. Again, this team has gotten healthier. Like the bench is deep now. Everyone's back, so they're all just kind of priced where they should be.
Yeah, like I have about 10% Anthony Edwards right now in DK, so just under the field. I have much more Paolo than that. I'm not taking that pivot. I'm just saying it's possible. And then just sprinkles of everyone else. Dante DiVincenzo showing up a little bit, but I think I'd rather just X him out and pay down to somebody else. And I only have 3%. Mike Conley is projected for 5% ownership. He's not a great play. Models identifying him as elite value, but just consider what that is for Mike Conley, 3,600.
Mhm. I will say the price decrease for Nas on DK might be a little over dramatic. He's down to 5,700. I think he's playable.
My problem with it is the other night they were in a blowout situation and he only got like 2 or 3 minutes of blowout, and then the deeper bench guys got those last 8 minutes. Him and
Garza.
Nick,
Yeah.
yeah, Garza and
Ugh,
Dillingham and whoever that other guard
gross.
is, and him and Nikhil Alexander Walker missed that blowout run. Like we don't expect them to get the big blowout run, but we do expect a few more minutes than what they got. So that's if you think it's a blowout, I mean, 15.5 point spread. I wouldn't expect Nas to get the bulk of the blowout
No.
run. Next game, we have Houston and Miami. It's like on surface, this is not an appealing DFS game, and the field kind of agrees looking at Houston's ownership. It's just Amin Thompson's back. I kind of think everyone here is a little bit overpriced, and I'm getting zero exposure. The only thing is I'm forcing in Tari Eason again, but it's not as strong of a play as it was last time when he went off because Amin Thompson's in today.
Yeah, with Thompson back, Eason could move to the bench. The ceiling's always there for him, so I don't think it's crazy to still get to him. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's really no injury news we're waiting on. Wiggins is back, so I've been playing a little bit of Hawkes with him out, but he's no longer really a thing. Again, with Andrew Wiggins coming back, so yeah, I guess the one play to maybe get to here would be Sangoon, but I don't love the matchup. Again, I think I'd rather go value with center tonight. This is one of the games we don't need to spend much time on.
Yeah, like GPP plays are Sangoon and Jalen Green, but that's all they are, and the model doesn't love either of them today.
Mhm.
On the Miami side, though, we had something on the injury report, right? Andrew, oh, you already mentioned it. Wiggins is
He's
probable, so
in.
we're good. Oh, he's in. Okay, perfect. So I'm getting a few more percent here, but still not anything significant. Under 10% Bam and Tyler Harrow, 2% Khalil Ware, and then I guess I was getting a couple of percent of Andrew Wiggins. Is there anyone that we should be taking a harder look at?
No, again, getting healthier, it's kind of tough to do anything here. I mean, if we were confident Wiggins gets his full run, I do think he's the one play who's a little bit underpriced, but I don't know. I'm fine just not playing him.
Not that 17% is high on FanDuel for Wiggins at 6K or anything, but it sounds a little bit high, and the model really isn't identifying Wiggins as anything today at 33 minutes.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
We'll go to this next game, Philadelphia and Spurs. My favorite player in the NBA is Quentin Grimes. 11.00 of index value just keeps coming up every day as his price is coming up. He's pulling double-digit ownership today. I'm not quite with the field, but he started showing up naturally finally. So what do you want to do with Quentin Grimes?
I'm fine mixing him in. I do think he's been playing a little bit above his head. At the same
A
time,
little?
I'm saying that, and he keeps doing it, so maybe I'm just wrong. Earlier, I kind of shot down the thought of Justin Edwards, but the more I think about it, if he's going to play the 30 minutes we have him projected for, I do think he's viable. Again, never a play I'm excited to get to, but he's fine. This team has pretty much shot all their regular guys down, other than Grimes. So I don't know. You can make a case for pretty much any starter here. Like even Brissett, I think is a little bit too cheap. Not that I want to play him. Walker off the bench definitely has some upside. Not that I want to play him. Just another team that I think is okay to take shots on in tournaments, but I can't sit here and say one guy's really standing out above the others. Obviously, Grimes' ceiling maybe qualifies him in that way. But for me, again, I'm heavy on Banchero, so it's kind of tough for me to get too heavy on some of these other guys in the 8 to 10K range. And Grimes is one of them. I want to mix him in, but I'm not really prioritizing him necessarily.
Yeah, I got about 10% of him, which I'm cool with. Don't really want more. Don't know if I want less. Lonnie
Mhm.
Walker was probable, and so he's projected for 15 and 12% ownership. How do you see him versus some of those other values that we talked about?
I mean, he's got similar upside, but he's maybe even more volatile coming off the bench off an injury. He can spike a huge upside, but his minutes are going to be all over the place as long as this team is, I don't know, 12 bodies. So I don't mind him, but I don't think he's a core or anything like that.
I agree. Yeah, the model loves Justin Edwards today. I think that's fine at 8%. Lonnie Walker, the model likes, doesn't love, maybe likes it a little bit more on FanDuel at the slightly lower ownership. Quentin Grimes looks fine. And then as for Brissett, he's burned me twice. I'm over it. Chuma Okiki played a ton of minutes. He way overperformed last game, but the 3,600 on FanDuel, I think we can consider still.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's
With
deep. No,
Lonnie
it's
coming,
deep.
yeah, it is deep. I will say, like, the model's what kind of flipped me on Edwards. I was like, but I don't know. The model's usually right on some of these value plays. I'm fine mixing Edwards in. Definitely would be doing that over Okiki or Walker.
And then Jared Butler, I think the price is just, I mean, I guess he's still pulling the ownership on FanDuel, 5,700. I don't think it's awful price. I do think it's a little bit higher than I'd like to pay on today's slate, though.
Yeah, I don't hate it. It's just again another guy who isn't always closing for whatever reason. And like you really can't
Yeah.
project the minutes for this team right now with any sort of confidence. 57 does feel a little cheap for his upside, but at the same time, at 20% owned, I don't know that it's a play I'm excited to play.
So I'll let you know on the other side of this game, we have the Spurs. First of all, it's a 235 total, 6.5 point spread in favor of the Spurs. When I was looking at these initial lines last night, they were insane. Sochan's was insane. Chris Paul's was insane. Devin Vassell was okay, but it just kind of like, why are Sochan and Chris Paul projected for this much? Like, because they played last game. So my issue is Chris Paul's kind of been getting benched, but then they let him run the blowout game last time to help Sandro get his 50-point game or whatever. But this feels like such a difference from what we've been seeing Chris Paul in the last few slates.
Yeah, I don't really want to rush to Chris Paul. I mean, he kind of feels like Mike Conley, but a little more expensive. Like he could get there. He has some upside, but again, it's not a play I'm excited to get to. I like Sochan here, but 70% on DK feels a little insane.
Yeah, man.
He's probably going to get the start at center. I think that's why people want to go to him. He played 37 minutes against the Knicks, which is a terrible matchup. So I think he leads the team in minutes in all likelihood, even though we're not quite projecting him there. We have Vassell ahead of him, but he's a really good play. But I think at that ownership, it's tough to say he's a great play in tournaments.
Yeah, I mentioned like all those high props. Like I slammed the unders on all of them, dude, and they all moved down. But Jeremy Sochan played 38 minutes. Like, so that thing with Chris Paul I was just showing. I talk about this. We have him projected for 26 minutes today. In the last game, Chris Paul played 31, 22, 22, 18. And so it feels like we're just giving an average. Like, yeah, he could play 26, sure, but it feels like a lazy projection and it's just not that accurate. And so I kind of either just want to give him a few less or give him those extra few minutes, assuming he's going to play the whole game. I don't like this like middling stuff. Kind of goes the same with
No.
Sochan.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more comfortable getting away from Paul just because Sochan's a young player. I think they still want on the floor most of the time, tanking or not. Um, but yeah, I like what you're saying there. Like, it doesn't make sense to sit in the middle on these guys.
Yeah, and like Sochan we have for 32. He's 38 for 26, 31, 16, 24. It sounds too high. I just, my inclination is to get away from it because the field wants to slam this so hard. I already mentioned before, I think that the San Antonio coaching staff doesn't love Sochan like they used to. Pop's not here right now, remember? So, but let's talk about some of these pivots. Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, and Stephon Castle are all pulling decent ownership. What's your interest there?
Yeah, Vassell and Castle, I think both really, really solid plays. I mean, Castle's minutes haven't been great, honestly. I think part of that is that they give Paul some of that extended run. Vassell is the safer play of the two, but I think both are appealing. Wouldn't want both in the same lineup, but I'm very comfortable having one or the other.
Yeah, I'm okay with it too. And those are the only players I'm getting exposure here too. I do have double digit exposure on all of them though, so I guess they're all okay.
Yeah, and you mentioned Keldon. Like, I think he's a decent pivot off of Sochan, but I don't know. At the same time, I don't know how much upside he has necessarily. So,
It's funny, like Paolo and Cade, very similar to me in my head. Cade, 31% projected ownership on DK at 10-4. I'm getting a ton of him. I like him a lot tonight. Model likes him too. Strong value, strong OF index. The other guys on the team, Jalen Duren, Asort Thompson, Tobias, and then maybe Malik Beasley. But what are you looking at here?
yeah, I mean, Cade looks good. I think he is one of the better pivots off of Paulo if you're looking for it. Definitely someone I want to be getting exposure to. Osser, I just think he's underpriced on DK. The minutes have been inconsistent, but he's shown that he could crush a value at that price. I'm fine getting to him. Duren, good center play. Tobias Harris, fine. Pretty neutral on most of these guys. I do think I want to get over on Cade on FanDuel, though. 6% seems way too low, in my opinion. Definitely a guy I want to get more exposure to.
Just looking, you guys had a funny conversation in the chat. Missed all of that 5 minutes ago, but shout out to you guys for driving that conversation. It's like nice. Anything else you want to mention on Detroit before we go to Dallas side?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much Cade.
Yeah,
Dal-
agreed.
Dallas side's kind of interesting though. Let's
Oh
see
yeah,
on the injury
I got.
report. No new injuries. Nice. Yeah, go ahead. Take it away.
If Kai Jones starts, I want to play a bunch of them.
Me too.
I don't get the ownership, honestly. Even on
Uh,
FanDuel, like people are going to Nurk, and I get it. Nurk is consistently showing the ceiling, but that's not a great matchup. He's 50% owned or whatever the hell it is. I think Kai Jones and his point per minute rate makes him very appealing here. Only played 24 minutes against Indy. Got 34 fantasy points, 33 minutes, 33 points a game before that. He's shown that when he's out there, he's going to be good. And with Williams coming back, I think that helps him a little bit. I like him running the pick and roll with Dinwiddie, but Williams is another guy who can do it, which pretty much just secures his upside whenever he's on the floor. So I like Kai Jones, and I think that ownership on him is absolutely insane on both sites. Definitely a tournament play I'm interested in, and happy to see it's model approved as well.
Yeah, dude, we have everything working for us today in favor of playing Kai Jones. I was shocked when I saw he wasn't really owned. I mean, he's shooting 100% from the field this season, so don't expect that to continue. But I mean,
Yeah.
most of his shot attempts are just dunks and easy layups, right? He doesn't have to do much most of the time. But yeah,
Yeah.
this is a spot I think to take shots on at 0%. Very model approved, especially on FanDuel. I know we only get one center, but so that's going to be a little bit tougher. But DK 5100, the price is higher. I love it. I'm pretty on board with getting over the field on Kai Jones.
Yeah, man. Again, I just think the ownership is absolutely insane. He has to start though. Like if he doesn't, I would very quickly come off. They could go to Kessler, but I think against Durant, it makes sense for them to have Kai out there.
Jaden Hardy is in. He had a blow up game last time. No one's getting there today. He's 1% owned. I think that's worth some shots. There's someone in today though. Was Brandon Williams out last
Brandon
time?
Williams. Yeah,
Okay.
Williams was out. And Clay was out, so
Okay. Okay. So
yeah.
maybe that's a little deep. Then I have Jaden Hardy at a few percent though, so I am getting there. He's right on the cusp. And then PJ and a few percent of Najee is all I'm getting from here after Kai Jones.
Yeah, those prices are getting a little inflated, but they're fine to mix in.
Yeah, I don't feel great about PJ or Najee at the price, but they're just mix-ins. And
For sure.
I actually didn't even notice Najee was 8K until right now. That's crazy. I still got some. Last game on the DraftKings slate, we have Boston and Utah. What do we have here? Jalen Brown is out.
Yep.
Nice. Jalen Brown's out. I don't think we have to worry about anything else on the injury report. Tatum's going to be, top of OF index like always. He's up to 11K on DK, pulling some ownership. FanDuel, it's only 10,500, only pulling 10% there. It's funny how the difference is with him and Paolo. Like Paolo was pulling more ownership on FanDuel than he was on DK, even though there's more games there and he was more expensive. But talk to me about Boston.
Yeah, I mean, with Jalen Brown out, it's going to benefit all the starters. Holiday, White, Tatum. You can make case for any of them. Whoever it was that made that Porzingis call last time, shouts out to you. You can mix him in here as well. We're
Landon.
obviously concerned a little bit about the blowout here. I don't think it's something we need to worry about too much. It's just tricky with Boston. Like night to night, like yeah, Landon was on KP, went off, but it also meant the guards that we like didn't do too well. So you got to kind of pick and choose. I don't know that I want more than one Celtic, maybe two in a lineup, and that's kind of being super aggressive. It is a great matchup. Pritchard off the bench might be my favorite. He keeps burning me, but I'll keep going back just knowing the type of upside he has at low ownership. But yeah, with Jalen Brown out, it is enough to maybe get to more Celtics than we usually would in a matchup like this on a big slate. Yeah, you can make a case for any, but it's tough for me to sit here and say I love one over the others.
Yeah, and as for was it Jose that was talking about Peyton Pritchard? I mean, model's not identifying as a value. It's rarely going to though when the both of
Mhm.
the guards are in Drew and Derek White. But we do have him projected for 28 minutes, 3% ownership. I think the price is a little bit high, but if he spikes that ceiling, like what does it matter if he's 5K or 6K?
Yeah, it's true. Derek White on FanDuel getting a lot of love. I do think he's underpriced there. Could play him at either guard position. Probably my favorite Celtic. And usually I'm on Pritchard first, but I do like that you could play White at shooting guard. Pritchard only point guard eligible makes it kind of tough to get to him there. But again, all these guys have upside.
So the fact that this is only a 15-point spread, and we do have the Utah guys in for the most part today, I don't think we want to try to get away. I think I'm just going to let whatever happens here. Like I have percents of all these guys. Tatum's at the top. Maybe I lower Tatum and get to more of a little more of the other guys, but I'm okay getting here. I don't think this game is going to super blow out, right?
Yeah, it's probably close enough.
It's
But
it's
again,
possible. Yeah.
yeah, I mean Utah's getting healthier though. It's not like they're even banged up. They just bench all their guys a lot. Tonight they're going to let most of them run because they're probably going to lose this game anyway. Kind of hurts the upside. Like it's rare that we have Sexton, Collier, Clarkson, and George available. They're all available tonight. They're definitely going to cannibalize each other a bit. So yeah, I don't mind maybe some Kessler, but it's tough for me to sit here and say I want to play anything from Utah.
Was Clarkson confirmed in?
Let me check. He's in the projected.
I saw
He's
him
still
queue.
questionable.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe
Okay.
they bench him.
I mean, does that
But
change anything for you, even if he doesn't play?
I mean, I feel a little bit better about the guards, but again, you're still picking and choosing like Sexton or George.
Yeah, model's
I
not
don't know.
giving us anyone here. I'm always into Walker Kessler, but single digit value on a day like today, it's actually going to be kind of tough for me to get there. I do like the idea though. If he plays, the problem is he doesn't play, dude. He played 15 minutes last game, and while like this is against the Celtics, I'd think they would play him the whole game. Uh, I don't know. It's a little deep, and I'm usually always on board getting over on him.
Yeah, and one more. I was gonna say I like Filipowski if he starts, but the price is so high now. It's just like,
Yeah,
I'm not really exciting anymore.
yeah. If Kessler was out, I'd still be about it. But Filipowski only played like 22 minutes last game, and it's just not going to get it done.
Oh, so
Uh, so that finished DraftKings. We're gonna run through the last three FanDuel games really quick. We'll spend more time on Denver because I think that's a little more important. But for Cleveland, what are we looking at on Cleveland, Nick?
yeah, so Garland's been out. He's back tonight. It's going to kind of hurt the upside of everything here. So again, just another team that's healthier than they have been, all kind of priced where they should be. You can make a case for Mitchell, Garland, Mobley. I think they all have upside. But again, you're kind of picking which of that group is the one that's really going to hit the ceiling. I don't know. I think Allen's a little bit overpriced now with all these guys coming back. Is a good matchup for him, but even Hunter's back available off the bench. I just whenever a team is getting all their guys back, they're just tough to get to, even in a good matchup. I do like the spot here. It's just tough for me to say one guy looks good at his price. They're all fine. I just don't think there's a priority.
Yeah, it's like Mobley and Donovan Mitchell. They're fine. We need a ceiling though if we're going to get to them today. They're not pulling much ownership, so it's not like we're doing much by fading them. But I
Right.
think they're all. I think everyone on this team is a mixin.
Yep.
On the other side, the Phoenix Suns, I am getting 1% ownership of Nick Richards and 1% of Devin Booker on DK, or on FanDuel. I'm sorry, on FanDuel. And that's it. What about you?
I like Ryan Dunn. I'm going to mix him in his value. I'm kind of surprised he's not more popular. Expecting he gets the start again here with Beal still out. On DK, it sucks he's not on the slate. Only 3,800 there if you're playing late. But on FanDuel, I like him going overlooked. He was super popular the last few slates. He's continued to produce, and for whatever reason, no one is playing him today. So if you're looking for value in that late game, or you need to move some things around, some guys get ruled in that you're not expecting, I do think Ryan Dunn's kind of a good piece to make that happen. Durant and Booker, plenty of upside. Not the best matchup for either. Booker's been more consistent lately. If I'm getting to one or the other, it's probably him. Other than that, not much though. But I do want to take a stand on Ryan Dunn. I think he's sneaky good.
Yeah, Model loves Ryan Dunn on the DK night slate if you're playing that. Also, Colin Gillespie stands out on both sides. I think it's a little deep to get there on FanDuel, but on the DK night slate, yeah. And then Nick Richards, dude, 4K. Why does price come down? He just put up 38 fantasy points. One of the top DK values of the day. This he'll pull ownership on the night slate, but it's probably still going to be lower than he deserves. And then the 1% for him on FanDuel at 4,900. We only get one center, but if you have 100, 150 lineups, I think that's a guy you want to get in there.
Yeah, I'm fine mixing him in. I will say this is a terrible matchup for centers compared to what he had against Chicago, but yeah, 1%. Why not?
Well, my thing is just if he plays the second half, Nick Richards, as long as he's on the court, I don't care what the matchup is at this price. I'm hoping with the idea that Cleveland has two good big men, we need to keep Nick Richards out there because he's probably our best big man, unless they throw
That's
Oso
fair.
out there. Because Mason Plumlee's out, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Denver, Portland. You said this was one of the games you were most excited about. Break it down.
Yeah, I mean, Jokic is out. It's really as simple as that. Murray's still questionable. If Murray's in, he's going to be a good play. I'm kind of hoping he's out, though, because, yeah, you get all the Russ, all the Porter, all the Gordon. Aaron Gordon projected to start at center again. His price has barely moved. He is maybe the best play on the entire slate, in my
Yep.
opinion. Yeah, he should absolutely crush here. Last game, again, I was complaining he only played three quarters. He had 11 boards, 26 points. He's 100% healthy. The minutes are going to be there for him. And obviously, whenever Murray's out, we could get to Russ. Even if Murray's in, I think we can get to Russ because Jokic is just that monster. He takes up everything. He's an absolute vacuum on this team in terms of usage. So whenever he's unavailable, you could load up on everything else. And I do think this is a competitive matchup, even without him off the floor. So yeah, make a case for Brown. I like Westbrook a lot. We'll prefer him if Murray's out. Murray's in, go ahead, mix him in. But Porter, probably my second favorite behind Gordon. But those two are definitely core plays for me on FanDuel.
Yeah, if everyone's in, I'm still going to get a ton of Russ and actually Jamal. Not going to set a rule max one for that, and
No,
then ton of Baron Gordon. If on the DK night slate, like I'm probably playing the DK night slate just because of this game. I don't know if I was going to, but
I
I'm
like
gonna
it.
just jam everyone here, and then don't forget about Christian Brown. He's like the fifth option, I would say, maybe fourth, but Peyton Watson's there too, and I think those guys are just mix-ins. It's definitely going to be AG, Jamal, and Westbrook and MPJ as the priorities.
Yeah, for sure. Watson's probably going to start, but I don't really need to get to him.
At 4K on DK, if he makes some stuff work, I could see it. And Model likes him at that 4K price.
Yeah.
Other side, Portland. So this is Denny Avdia's team now. What's his ownership? 10% on FanDuel. You know what I'm going to tell you. What do you want to do with Portland?
Yeah, I like Denny a lot. The price is up. I mean, he's still somewhat inconsistent, but if you're looking for upside, which you're always looking for in tournaments, I think he's a really appealing play here. Denver's defense just not great with or without Jokic, honestly, especially on the road. So no reason not to like him here. Still no Jeremy Grant, which means Shady on Sharp's going to continue to start. I'm fine mixing him in. I think Kamara, Simons, you can make a case for any of these guys. And Klingon finally has been seeing consistent minutes over the past couple of weeks. I do think he's a valuable center option. Wish he was a little bit cheaper, but still, again, Denver, no Joker, probably playing a little bit smaller than usual, probably falls into a few more rebounds than usual. You can make a case for any starter here. Denny looks excellent, but again, at 8K, it's tough to really call him a priority, but definitely someone I want exposure to for sure.
Yeah, I pretty much agree. Prices are getting more appropriate, but yeah, Denny's really the guy I'm looking at. And I know Shaden Sharp's pulling that ownership. Model's kind of saying we don't have to do that today. I mean, Model likes Avdia, likes Simons, likes Kamara, loves Duop Reith over on DraftKings. So on the night slate, Duop Reith, someone mentioned it
Oh
earlier,
yeah,
3,400. That's the spot. Yeah, that's when we take him. I think it's probably still okay to
yeah,
mix it on the main slate. Like if you have him in there, maybe you end up swapping off it before the last game starts anyway on FanDuel.
yeah. I mean, it's tough to use that one center spot on the main slate, but he's shown the upside. You could definitely mix him in.
And then Memphis, last game on the slate, Memphis and Clippers. What do we have? A 7.5 point spread with a 230.5 total. I've been targeting Memphis the last few slates, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But these ownerships seem slightly low to me today. I know Desmond Bain's price is up, but we're without John Morant, Brandon Clark, and Lamar Stevens is also out. So I like getting to Bain. I like getting to Santi, even though JJJ is in. And then I don't mind tournament shots on some of the other guys. What are you looking at?
Yeah, so Bane's actually questionable. If he's out, all these guys are going to become even more appealing here. If he's in, I do like him. Fine mixing him in. But yeah, Kennard probably going to get the started point guard. Still dirt cheap. They did price up Scottie Pippen Jr. He's been out playing him. I'm fine with both. And honestly, wouldn't hate even having both in the same lineup. They've both been pretty much hitting value consistently. But yeah, I think if Bane's out, I'm more comfortable doing that. But yeah, Jaren Jackson, definitely make a case for him. Again, Luke Kennard, too cheap. Pippen, even at his price, has shown he can consistently get there. But yeah, not a team I will be low on, that's for sure.
I'll just point out by the model on DK on the night slate, Scottie Pippen and Zach Edey stand out as values. JJJ, Luke Kennard, and Jalen Wells are all good. And then FanDuel, JJJ's, maybe Luke Kennard and Desmond Bain are close to elite. But
Yeah.
last game, last team on the slate, Clippers. I'm getting to the big three, and that's it. What about you?
Yeah, pretty much the same. I mean, I do like Zubac. I mean, has any center other than like Cat or Jokic been consistently over 50 fantasy points as much as Zoo this season? I don't know. I like the matchup for him too. I don't mind it at all. High total, probably my favorite Clipper here. Like the options it gives you too if you're paying up at center. A lot of people are going value today. If you need to pivot, you'll have the salary to do it. Also, fine mixing in Harden, Leonard Powell, not quite 100% in my opinion. Fine, just not playing him completely, Xing him out. But yeah, you could get Harden. I do think he's overpriced now with Powell back, but Powell, like I said, hasn't been himself. Maybe he could hit that ceiling a little bit more. And Kawhi's fine. He's been playing really well, just kind of priced exactly where he should be. So he's my favorite. Fine with Leonard Harden. That's pretty much it.
Nice. Let's knock out some of these questions and build a quick dummy. Nick's going to be in the Discord. We're going to start that and let as soon as we get out of here. Let's see. Hey Chuck, how many hats do you own? Like 46. Appreciate you asking though. Thank you. Jose, would I personally play Pritchard over Vassell? In general, yeah. Today I'm not though. I have Vassell projected for 35 on DK and Pritchard for 27 something.
Yeah.
So it's not enough to get to Pritchard today. It's just the two guards are in. If you do it though, I don't think it's bad. Like I think it's fine. I'm just not doing it. Top values on FanDuel. We'll flash them real quick. Nick, let's build a quick dummy. You want to just give me your core?
Yeah, I think it's Kenan Simpson, I really like Paulo. I think Sochan Alvarado are probably kind of cashy type core plays. That's kind of where I'm starting. Let's see what else we got going.
Did you notice who the
Nurk.
number one value on the slate was? Well, on FanDuel
Who was
anyway.
it?
It's Kai Jones. I know we're building for DraftKings, but Kai Jones number one.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm gonna get to a lot of them over there. I mean, other than that, it gets a little tricky. What do we have left?
We have 6,600 for four positions, so we can pretty much do whatever we want. Nurkic?
Did you already get Alvarado in there?
Yeah, Alvarado's in here.
Nurk.
Yeah, we'll put Nurkic center and see if we can get Sochan at the other position.
Yeah.
I'm just going to take up the other forward. I mean, do we want to try to get up to like Cade Cunningham or like one of the other pay ups? See how that looks?
Did we already have Paulo?
We have Paolo, yeah. If we put in
I mean,
Cade,
if
that
we
leaves
could
us.
fit it.
Yeah, we have
Oh yeah.
6,200 for two positions, shooting guard and small forward.
Yeah, I like that.
Could do something like, I mean, Vassell, Pritchard, Castle. These guys all fit. CJ
I
McCollum.
think
You want to try CJ?
yeah, why not? I mean, Vassal's probably safer, but yeah, either
Let's
of
do
those.
Vassell. Leaves us 300 to get to some of these disgusting plays here. I don't know that I love getting to any of these guys for the dummy, but move something around. And here's the guys we like. Anything else you want to mention? Nick's going to be in the Discord talking for another half hour, so if you want to join that, instructions are in the description below.
Yep, I'm gonna catch my breath. I got a screenshot of my little cheat sheet here. Gonna go hit the ground running in there, and yeah, guys, let's crush tonight. Keep an eye on lineups. Keep an eye on news.
Real quick, did you expect Shaden Sharp to start?
Yes.
He's been starting. Yeah, I think he would. And I'll just show the DK values. Pause the video if you want to keep it. FanDuel values and by OF Index. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Hit the like and subscribe on your way out. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Have fun tonight.